Hey guys, Justin Robinson, CrossFlight Sky Solutions Vice President, and I'm back for the last day, the fifth day of the video series on high school drone use. Hope you've enjoyed the series. If you haven't caught all the videos, make sure that you go back and watch day 1 through 5. And then also we're going to be doing a live show next week to answer some of the questions, and then you'll be able to see that as well. So today we are talking about policies and procedures, and this is one that is very important, but it's really going to be on you guys to create. There are some good examples. You can go on and look, just search for what other people are doing and give you a starting point. But these are the things that we feel like are major parts of this system. Really quick, before I even go into those, I just want to talk about why this is so important. If you just let things happen, most school districts are responsible for thousands of students, teachers, really a huge part of the community. You want to be proactive on this and not reactive. If you are acting inside your district with drones already, you definitely don't want any possibility of someone saying that you were negligent in how you're handling drone use. You want to make sure that you've looked at what you need to do. So that gets into creating some policies and procedures and a list for your district of how this is going to be implemented and how you're going to use drones in your district. You definitely want an introduction as to why this is important and how it's going to look in your district. Go into the risk associated with drones so that you're making people aware of what's out there. Parts of this video series would be a great way to start with them, to give them an idea. And then you want to make sure that they understand how they're operating. Am I operating as a hobbyist or as a commercial pilot? What's the FAA say? How do I find that out? What the requirements are to use drones in your district, whether you're a hobbyist or a commercial user. Still has to have something. You definitely want drone safety guidelines for both your staff, students, and external parties that may be operating on or around your facilities. You also want to have an application for them to go through to be able to use this so that you know who is and isn't operating on your facilities, and you can make sure that they are aware. You need to also make sure that registration of drones is included. That would all be inside of your safety guidelines requirements for what has to happen before you could use this. And then because of the new regulations that are out now, you do have to make sure that you have a privacy policy. If the drones are being used, how is that data being used? What are you capturing? And where does it go from there? You want to make sure that those are in place. You need a privacy policy. Our company actually has a very good privacy policy, but we also have documentation that we give to people that are in the area or involved or may be involved or may have questions about how this data is being used and where it's going. We'll show them that, give them information. They can email us and we'll actually give them access to the information. So school district probably wants to do the same thing. As far as permits for use, this is just a sample of what you may want. You can find things like this online, lots of different options, but you do want people to go to your risk management department and let them know that they are going to be operating, what they're going to be operating, how, and have permission before they get out there on your school property. Last thing you want is the district not knowing what's happening at each school, the school not knowing what the district's doing or how people are operating, and you get into some major issues there. You really need your SROs involved in this so they can know to look out for something that may be out of the ordinary. So they'd be involved in this as well. You also can look at putting up some signage saying, okay, you can't fly here unless you have permission. Being on the site, you probably want to deal with the FAA on this and make sure that they understand what you're doing, what the regulations are and policies are in place, and who they need to contact. You definitely want to have on this sheet who they contact. Example of the start of our privacy policy goes through who we're working with, how we do this, what all is going on to make sure that we're doing things legally. different areas have different laws. So in North Carolina, we have a whole different set of guidelines that we follow and use, and we have to have a separate license. So those kind of things are important and can be geographically important as well. I know this was a good bit of information for this series. Setting up your policies and procedures really goes back through all of the videos that I gave and all the documentation. This is a lot of information. I understand it is more than most people have time to go through on their own. One way that we can help with that is through consulting or helping you get started on the right steps in the right direction. Also through our training, it's great to have somebody on staff that's trained, especially if they're working in the industry. They need to be trained and certified, and they can help with setting up policies as well. So hope this has been very helpful. If you've got any questions, send those out to info@crossflightsskysolutions.com. We'll look forward to the live webinar where we're actually answering questions, both live and that have been emailed in, and getting you more information out there. Please feel free to reach out. We hope to see a lot of teachers this summer in training, and go out and fly safe. Talk to you soon.